The World Series.
It's the fall classic, the fruition of what you started out to do in February. All the hard work that you put into spring training, all of the playoffs that you had to win.
For the Boston Red Sox, the 2004 World Series championship was the fruition of 86 years of hard work. The rivalry between baseball's two major leagues began in 1903 at the Huntington Avenue Baseball Grounds in Boston.
The American League had only been around for 2 years. They started in 1901. The National League had been around since 1876.
The game was such a big deal that a lot of people went, overflowed the stands. It was a mob scene. They had a lot of trouble clearing the field.
It shows how popular the game was. People all over the grounds. This great celebration of the first ever World Series.
For the Boston Americans, today's Red Sox, the first pitch was tossed by 36-year-old Cy Young. His devastating fastball would lead him to 511 career wins. Today, the Cy Young Award honors the best pitcher from each league. This is the last out ball from the first ever World Series, used to strike out the Pittsburgh Pirates giant Honus Wagner, the Flying Dutchman.
One of the most highly prized collectibles, the holy grail of baseball collectibles, is the Honus Wagner T206 1909 tobacco card. One of the most valuable was recently auctioned for about $1.2 million. There are around 50 Wagner cards in existence.
At the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum is Honus Wagner's locker, his cap, autographed ball, and Pirates jersey. Nearby, his first baseball contract and his bat.
When I walk through and see the baseball that they played with, the gloves that they use, it changes the way that I view the game.
You'll see that they had to be good fielders to catch the ball with those gloves.
Honus Wagner's using a little mitten. Even if he got in front of the ball, it's a more difficult thing to scoop up with that mitten than it would be for Omar Vizquel or Ozzie Smith decades later.
In 1918, as the Red Sox began their quest for an unprecedented fifth World Series title, their ace pitcher, the young Babe Ruth, proved himself to be the greatest slugger the game had ever known, leading the Sox to victory. Then, the Sox sold him to the Yankees.
He was the Sultan of SWAT. He virtually invented the home run.
After the 1919 Black Sox scandal, baseball was in a real bad rut. And Babe Ruth came along, and he captured the hearts of everybody in America. They loved the Babe.
Not only did Ruth hit 714 home runs, he had seasons where he hit more home runs individually than other entire teams. When he retired, he had more than 200 lifetime home runs than the next highest guy on the list, and that was the whole history of the home run to that point.
Unbelievable, especially considering the bat that he was using.
It's like a giant bludgeon. It's like Paul Bunyan went into the woods and felled a tree and took the biggest branch and just filed it down and went up to the plate with it.
His marketing value was sky high, and he endorsed, of course, sports equipment, but he also endorsed other pieces, such as his own brand of underwear.
His swashbuckling and garrulous personality perfectly captured the 1920s, the so-called golden age of sport. His legend not only will never be exceeded, it'll never be approached.
The house that Ruth built still stands. Yankee Stadium opened in 1923. That year, a new face, Lou Gehrig, joined Ruth to form the most devastating hitting duo ever.
Lou Gehrig was such a great performer.
Gehrig had played a record 2,130 games. When just shy of 38, he was felled by a rare disease that would later carry his name.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
The Lou Gehrig locker with his 1939 jersey, when you think about that being his locker and this great career just coming to a quick end way too prematurely, that's one that usually gets me when I walk by.
That I might have been given a bad break but I've got an awful lot to live for. Thank you.
He was the Iron Man, the great, great, great Lou Gehrig. What a man. He was my hero.